Governor Soludo says CBN governor has directed banks to dispense and receive old Naira notes, vows to shut defaulting banks in Anambra State. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Gani Kairi Balogun. If you're ready, let the hangout start now. Thank you for staying with us. The more the authorities devised means to curb crime, the more criminals change tactics to perpetrate evil acts. Armed robbers invaded Elesin Olomo community in Akpete Ido local government area of Oyo State with
juveniles in the act of robbery. Juveniles in the act of robbery. They are very infantile in their approach. We've had cases of policemen arming themselves with point-of-sale machines and extorting money
from Yahoo boys.
From Yahoo boys and other people, maybe party goers and other young people.
You have Indian hem in your pockets.
And every time they did it and the report was lodged, those policemen have been arrested because it's so easy.
It's traceable.
The merchant account linked to that POS will leave, POS naturally will leave an electronic trail. They will be able to know the merchant account linked to that POS. So once they know that, they will catch you. Except I've been wondering what exactly must have happened. Could they have relieved someone of this POS machine with the purpose of using it for crime? Even if they did that,
still
that money will still end up in an account. That's what I'm saying, the electronic trail. Those who are saying, okay, let's transact business electronically and all that, it is because it is easy to catch a thief with it. You will leave.
Because there's no cash to rob, and they are desperate. They just have to use the next best thing. So they can make some money. And I'm sure the police will do the needful if they can do it to themselves. Imagine doing it to some hooligans.
Do you want to get the cash?
But there's no POS that is not registered to a merchant. No.
Yes.
So that person will be caught, and it will be in that person's account, the money that came in originally. You're not going to go to a petrol station to exchange it for cash. It may even be from a petrol station, which is easier because they always have cash at hand.
Not like before.
I know
not like before.
Let's assume that they stole that machine. Because I'm looking at all possibilities.
Yes, I have for the last 1 hour.
Yes.
What exactly are they going to do?
If they stole that machine, they stole that POS machine, they will still want to discharge the cash that they generated from that robbery. Now, is it possible for them to, this cash crunch will say that fortune favors the daring? People take risk.
The more the risk, the more the reward.
Yes, people take risk in the hope that they will get away with it. They will reap bountifully from it. This one now is unheard of, that armed robbers will be using POS.
But does it have anything to do with the hardship we are facing in the country right now?
Doesn't make all of us robbers.
As in,
now.
the hardship is...
Yes, but you know they used to mop up people's cards. Robbers are fond of that. They get to a place, they will collect your ATM card, and they will ask you for the PIN. They do that a lot. But this one, in this case, I don't know how.
Or some of these abokis to transfer into dollar. So it is better if the police can quickly go into action after the POS.
Okay.
Because for them to...
That's a possibility.
For them to have done that, they must have another means of trying to get away with the money. So
What did you say?
He said that they may be looking at foreign exchange.
Get dollars with it, transfer it to the exchange operator, who then pay them in dollars. They can use it to buy dollars, for example.
Simply take it to the man, whatever the amount.
Because we were saying the account, we are assuming that they will transfer it to themselves.
Accounts.
I hope we are not even teaching them what to do.
29 inauguration day for a new government. The leadership of the APC has begun moves to ensure emergence of a party-sanctioned leadership of the 10th National Assembly. As such, the APC National Working Committee, NWC, summoned an emergency meeting of its senators and members-elect to develop a meeting held at the State House Banquet Hall, Aso Rock Villa, Abuja, with President-elect Bola Tinubu and Vice President-elect Kashim Shettima in attendance. Jide, since the Bukola Saraki saga in the 8th Assembly, I think the ruling party, they learned from the hard way that you don't have to prevaricate till that day that you want to inaugurate the National Assembly before you arrive at its consensus or election or selecting or picking the leadership of both arms of the National Assembly. You can see now, barely, we just did the National Assembly election almost 2 weeks ago, that Senate and House of Representatives. So the party is moving now to achieve this consensus.
Well, in 2015, a big mistake was made. The party didn't move quickly. President Buhari,
The same Ahmed Lawal,
Saraki had moved
across the country.
rapidly. In fact, Saraki had gone to the Sultan and other people, got them to
got in
work.
the endorsement of the Vice President Atiku Abubakar.
Got them to work on their people. So, by the time the party made its choice known, he already had more support than the choice of the party.
That divided our house.
So, the choice of the APC was defeated. It wasn't Saraki's fault in the real sense of the word, because while they were waiting, while they didn't make any move to say, look, this is what we want, this is where we are zoning this to, this is our choice, walk around our choice. He was already moving around. And he actually had made up his mind a long time before then to become Senate President. So he even assisted some of them by way of going. They would have fallen in line. But they waited and waited. And I remember in those early days, there were many episodes of this program. We kept talking about this, that when are you going to decide on this thing?
Leadership.
The issue of zoning, where you want the people to go. We kept waiting. So the same Buhari, this last time, he showed his hands quickly.
Yeah.
The choice of the Deputy Senate President, Omar Agege, was Buhari's choice. It was Buhari who said, this is the person that I want. For reasons best known to him, which we can't discuss.
Yes.
He said, this was my choice. In fact, somebody got angry and rejected his
role, principal officer
role.
I remember this gist.
In protest. That he felt, how can President Buhari choose this person? So, but that is, today we are not going to be going into all that. So, but we said they didn't make a choice that at least this time around, and that's with my
contemporaries.
Yes. But now, is it a crime to be a friend to somebody 20 years younger? Of course, it's not a crime. It is what to benefit from that friendship that matters. He needs people like Elumelu to help him. And he has already shown his hand that, look, this is what I want to do. They didn't tell us what they discussed, but we can guess. So in this case, the party has moved quickly. Even when some of those elected positions have not even been decided. But they've moved quickly. And they are going to tell their people that, look, this is what we want.
So that an individual's inordinate ambition will not override the party's...
I'm sure they are going to decide the matter of zoning quickly. People have been telling me, Senate President that people have told me that Senate President is going to the Northwest, for example. There are contenders there. Barau, Magata Kadawa Mako. They have to. Person will be our leader.
I'm sure they didn't enjoy that seat. Throughout it was...
No, he kept threatening them that they will be...
It's not the first time, that PDP will do that. Don't forget the Mulika case as well, under Jonathan. PDP legislators have a tendency.
Then the ruling party, we have to get it right.
Yeah.
You know, whatever perception people have about this government.
Yeah, incoming government.
No, not incoming government. The
Buhari
administration, in terms of distribution of leadership and federal character and everything. This incoming administration must be very, very careful from the onset, as in from even distribution.
How to put. It will not be a matter of trial and error. So whoever is going to emerge as the leaders of the National Assembly will have a working partnership paper ready from the executive to work with. That's why these movements are extremely important. I think that by this time next week, after the gubernatorial elections have been concluded, and they know those who are available, because some will lose, some will win, they will now decide on the way forward for a lot of things. So that to me is the key. But like we said earlier, there is a need to change the perception that the Buhari administration has created, that he is partial, or he has a narrow-minded way of rewards. And this is across the board. Because I know a lot of people who are part of the legacy.
Between him and the incumbent government. Because it needs to take big decisions.
Unpopular
decisions. This government has already made it clear, no subsidy beyond June. Money can come in because we can't be taking loans anymore and reduce costs. You know, in so many ways. So these are things that will push him to move quickly. Let the courts, let the lawyers resolve the issue of your emergence. You know, of course, that will be resolved. You know,
for the election. The election was okay. You know? Let's quickly take this breather. We'll take this break. When we come back, we'll talk more. It's still Journalist Hangout. We'll be right back after this time out.
The first thing we did on assumption of office was to embark on a process to change the narrative on Boko Haram to reflect the massive progress that our gallant military has made in a short while. The visit was an eye-opener. Has made in a short while. The visit was an eye-opener. In Bama, with over 6,000 buildings, none was standing. Signs in Arabic were visible everywhere in Bama town. It was no longer a matter of speculation that our troops were winning the war. We were armed with empirical evidence. Our troops earned our respect forever from that moment.
This message is brought to you from the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
My brother, my sister, do you know that winning an election is not only about getting the majority vote? For that your candidate to be declared winner of the election, he or she must secure 25% of the vote in 2/3 of all states plus the FCT to be president, and 25% of the vote in 2/3 of all local governments of a state to be governor. This is constitutional, and every presidential candidate has had to pass this threshold. Even governors have had to make this mark to get elected in their states. We live in one country with different languages, religions, and ethnic groups. This is why it is not enough to have only northern votes, or southern votes, or eastern votes, or western votes. The only way to get elected as president or governor is by gaining enough support across the country and states. Let us make sure that we know now, so that we don't cause an issue tomorrow. This message is brought to you by the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, with support from the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, FCDO.
Thank you for staying with us. It's still journalist Hangout, and Jide, we are looking at the All Progressive Congress, and we don't expect this government to spend 6 months before naming ministers.
No. It's not possible. Not with an Asiwaju. 6 months to choose. Asiwaju has an idea of his cabinet as we speak. I know that he already has an idea.
The contacts.
He has an idea of his cabinet as we speak. For each position, he has an idea of who he want to put there.
Even 2 or 3 people.
Maybe
trying to eliminate 2 or 3 people.
He will be, constantly, because also that the DSS has to do checks and all that.
And one per state.
They have to do
to
checks.
Represent 36 states.
No, he will be that one. In a state like Ekiti, for example, he already has an idea of who he wants for ministerial positions. Yes. Who is going to be an ambassador? Many politicians don't want. Asiwaju has a fair idea of who are the people doing well in the commanding heights of business. So you don't need to spoon feed him. He has an idea of who he wants. And this is something that he has done in the past. He helped Fashola to establish his cabinet. So because he needed to help him, and he did it at that time, he helped him to establish his cabinet. Fashola had a fantastic cabinet. Brilliant people in that cabinet. Lagos is so fortunate to have such people. This is a fact. So I know that on that score, Asiwaju is ready. Maybe talking about the armed forces, who should be this, who should be that, maybe
we need reference.
He will need, he will need people. He has to be a listening president. I was reading what our senior brother, Saliu Mukhtar, Saliu Lukman said,
DG,
yes, he said that the incoming president must be a listening one. Then he was referring to how can APC leadership go to the president and say, this is not right, let's not do this, and you will not listen to them. Indirectly or even directly, Saliu Lukman was trying to say this should not happen under an Asiwaju presidency, and I think it makes sense. Your party, you can't be bigger than your party. You must respect your party leadership when they come and they say this. Listen, because it's a matter of the Naira design. They went.
RiFAN said it's not.
They went. Look at. Imagine the party led by an Adamu that the president brought, telling the president to obey the Supreme Court. It shouldn't get to the point that your own party
chairman.
It's all because you will not listen.
Or because some people, you have some people.
Yes, you have the ears of some people.
Yes,
some people have your ears. So this is. I think that the Asiwaju, the first set of appointment, as I've said before, must show us where he's headed. Must show us that he wants to be a new broom, a departure from the past. There has to be. This Baba in Kano suggested a government of national unity. It's not a bad idea, because at this time our country is bleeding and our country needs to heal.
Can we be in court and I say form a government of national unity? As in your party?
In that, no, there are people.
Okay.
Obasanjo did it, no?
But like the uncle.
There are people that will be ready to serve their country within that party. Those who want to go to court can go to court. But within that party, there are still people who will be willing to serve.
Individually.
In such a big country like this, you will find people. It's always happening.
Okay. Now, looking at the end of the day, will it come into consideration, is the President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, regardless of the people that voted him in or that voted him least? Or that didn't give him vote at all. That was one of the first mistakes this administration made.
Yeah.
So in the appointment and everything must be evenly spread.
Not evenly, fairly spread.
Yes.
Because evenly means that even those who
they may even benefit more than
those
it can't work like that.
So it cannot be evenly. It has to be fairly.
It's not even, but even when the idea of ministers coming from 36 states.
That's what the constitution was looking at.
But by the time you give an extra ministerial position to each of the zones, then it is not even anymore. You see a big state like Kano having two, even Kaduna on occasions.
Or a state like Oyo.
So it's not possible to share it evenly.
But what you can do is
element of fairness.
Yeah, just for it is perception really, because all the time we all know Nigerian politicians are birds that can fly anytime. So don't think because somebody is representing party A today, it will not come into the system and become the biggest defender of what he was fighting. And this is not the time to really play politics of politicians. This is the time to play the politics of technicians. Because right now, the economy is down in the doldrums. Our power generation has gone down. There's no money in the system. So the president coming in does not have time for being nice. In fact, he must have time to tackle
do
everything.
what is right.
And he must do it quickly. Because our people are very limited.
No, we are impatient.
Attention span.
Okay. And finally, there is still so much ado about Naira redesign crisis, a scarcity of Naira notes.
Nigerians are going through now. They didn't face it during the lockdown.
And the number of people dying.
They didn't face it during the lockdown. The businesses are collapsing. SMEs are collapsing. The World Bank has warned us that this crisis could push us into recession. Are we happy to go just into recession like that?
Are you sure that was not his intention in the first place?
Are we happy to go into recession? The World Bank warned that the time, and the IMF, that the time we gave for this thing was too short. But Emefiele prefer to listen to opportunists who felt that, look, as long as he persisted with that policy, their aim of seeing a particular person not win an election will come to pass. And I said a lot of Nigerians had made up their minds before all this punishment that you are inflicting on them. They have made up their minds. They had the time to think about who to vote for.
A national newspaper had this headline this morning, and Emefiele has given a rebuttal 2 hours immediately.
Yes, but he cannot respond to a Supreme Court judgment.
Over a week ago.
Well, you have to know that the leaf that is dancing on the pond, the drummer
is under the water.
This one is the direct affront. That one, maybe he has people who he thinks he must listen to, who must now direct him to obey the law. Because somebody must be telling him, don't worry, nothing will happen. Because if he can react so fast, that means also aware that the Supreme Court gave a judgment.
If at your bankers committee meeting, you people resolved. They said it was a virtual meeting. You people resolved that, okay, from now on, we take these new notes, old notes from our people, and we allow the tellers to generate a code and then deposit.
Yeah. Which makes sense.
And the decision is, there is no limit to what can be deposited. Because why should we even do limit in the first place?
Supreme Court has overruled that.
So now, what is for Nigerians to be able to hold the banks accountable? All you needed to do was tell us that this is what you have agreed.
So by this morning, the banks should be filled up.
Yes.
The press conference.
People trying to put in the old notes,
Now you are keeping it as if this is a cult matter. Why would you not tell us? Soludo is not your chief press secretary.
It's even insulting.
It's not, but so I can understand how Soludo is feeling because he's killing businesses in the state. SMEs are dying. You can't pay people cash. Just the way it happened, if these people learn from history. This was exactly what happened in India.
Today, as I'm talking to you now, the Kogi state government, they are going from market to market to ensure enforcement.
Yes.
Honestly,
governors, I'm happy with governors.
I just saw a picture from King's Farm.
Yes, they are going around. They're going even with the Commissioner for Finance, Ashiwaju. I saw him, and the advisor on security, the commander, the retired naval officer. I saw them because people are suffering. And these governors too will lose because internally generated revenue will suffer. When businesses don't do well, how can you get internally generated revenue?
Pains.
People are suffering. I said yesterday that 2,700 naira was taken from someone to give him 5,000. Well, this is rubbish now. And we are happy to watch things even degenerate further. The longer it takes, the more desperate those POS people
I'm telling you,
and they continue to extort our people.
There's no money in circulation.
So this is the situation.
Okay,
now,
I am Adetoru on the line. Thank you, Adetoru, for calling us. Yes, Toru, are you still there?
He set himself ablaze because he could not live with the pain. He set himself ablaze. Before you know it, this thing was spreading from country to country.
And people have been very patient.
And regimes were brought down.
But in time past, President Muhammadu Buhari has shown empathy.
Compassion.
Yes. That
I don't understand.
That's why he doesn't want to remove the subsidy till now. That's why he held on to that subsidy till now. That's why he had to give states grants to augment salaries.
Bailouts.
So bailouts. So on this, I don't know what's happening.
President Buhari is the only one who knows what's going through his mind.
I think because I don't think
this is not the Buhari that I knew.
We started with,
This is not the Buhari that I knew.
And it's not
the Buhari that I knew would not want to see people suffer.
And it's not your Jubrin from Sudan.
There is no such thing as Jubrin. So those who came up with it, they are a different animal. It doesn't mean that you are referring to him as an animal.
No,
when you say someone is pig-headed,
it
doesn't mean you are saying his head is like that of a pig. No, you're only saying he's stubborn. So RiFAN now, he used that to describe one of his opposition people that is a different animal.
Different kind of.
The person interviewing from one of our channels here in Lagos now said, "Oh, you are calling him an animal." So RiFAN said, and I'm sure you know what I'm trying to say.
Well wishes and the public, both at home and diaspora, to its centenary celebrations, which is scheduled to hold between February and March 2023, with activities lined up across.
Is the umbrella association of the over 12 million Nigerian rice farmers. Through the administration of good and quality extension services, all these successes could not have been achieved without the political will of Mr. President.
Forms, whether they can function optimally. Yes, even there are some Yalonje in Akute, that's what they do. They've hired POS people, they stand by them, and you will now pay after paying. Yes,
and as you can see, there are more papers than money.
This can cause people to commit suicide. Yeah?
All these are things I have to work out with the bank. I have to keep them in.
This can cause people to commit suicide because look at all the money.
Wasting away.
Just nobody's buying.
Where is the money to buy?
Nobody's buying. Are you going to say there's transfer? We have not reached that level. Even in the UK, they've not done what you call cashless because they know that some people can't afford all this payment, the charges on it.
And
so they still operate side by side.
The payment is minimal. £10, £7. So you have to carry that around. £20.
I mean, the pain that our people have gone through is just too much. As if some people are trying to push them to,
that's what I said.
To become violent.
Somebody wants this country to burn. This is what Yoruba will call Kakekuma JCC. This is what they call it. Instead of us losing out totally, let's burn the house down.
Okay, somebody said it that they are waiting for the governorship. I said, what's the correlation between this? Okay, the presidential election has come and
that's what people will say. That the governorship will happen and this pain will still continue.
Yeah.
I was telling you, I said, don't be too sure. We are dealing with a CBN. You are thinking, once the elections are over, this whole problem. Don't be too sure. Did they print enough? The answer is no. They don't print enough. They didn't print enough. Look at the implementation of the policy. It's been implementation in a terrible manner. Everybody can see it. So So don't deceive yourself that after the election, let's do. No, people who are telling me now, let's do the election first. Let's take this pain. Do the election first. After that, bias. Their brains were turned.
Now,
what are we going through? Has the election not happened? Has the problem not continued? It has taken a Soludo to become emergency CPS. You know,
PRO
is the Onogu Galacticos of CBN now. It's a CBS. It's a
and the governors.
I mean, it's
Galacticos of
Anambra State. That's the thing.
I think the governors must find a way around this.
No, I like what the governors are doing. Even the governor of Ekiti too. Say you must take this money. If you don't take it, we prosecute you. If they don't begin to do it, people all these big businesses will not stop. Especially banks.
It would have been easy, just a circular. If you don't have to show your face. Nigerians are not interested in seeing your face.
You are ashamed.
Just a signed circular.
Yes, we are law abiding. After the Supreme Court judgment, this is our decision. That's all.
Even if you are ashamed, if you can't pose like this, like you're posing with the president, if you can't smile like
was
this.
posing that
yes,
time.
but that, it has not been served breakfast.
All the people who are saying that they stand by him. By the time his tenure has ended. And he has been reserved a place of opprobrium. All those people associated, they will not. They won't stand among those who are egging him on. They won't. Everybody identifies with success. They will not say that they were among the people saying, "Oh, I stand by Emefiele." You call yourself a trained journalist. You can see people dying on the street. You can see people standing on the queue and collapsing and dying. You had no shame to say that you stand by a man who has inflicted that pain on people. I mean, something must be inherently wrong with you.
A journalist died in Ibadan, walking to work.
Yes. And you say you stand by this. Go public now. Go and say that.
All right.
Walk around the street and say you are happy with what Emefiele has done. Let us see whether you get back home.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
By this time next week, we'll be here to celebrate with you.
Yeah.
And the maestro himself, Baba Kolade.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. And that's our package today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the repeat broadcast tonight at 11 p.m. Join us every Sunday for Journalist Hangout on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Uzubaku. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.
Ovi, you and Seward every time? Wetin happen? Abeg put you for African Magic, yo. E get one better new series for Showcase.
Wale, you dey play? We no get that channel. African Magic Showcase?
Why don't we then step up and get boosted, Sir John?
Time to step up and enjoy top entertainment. Yes, sir. We step up and get boosted. Yeah, bro.
Upgrade your subscription and get boosted to a higher package. If you are on DSTV Confirm, upgrade to DSTV Compact and get boosted to Compact Plus at no extra cost. Step up today and get a boost on us.
In the month of March, on the 3rd is World Wildlife Day. On March the 8th is a day set aside as International Women's Day. March 13th is Commonwealth Day. And March 24th is the elimination of racial discrimination and also World Down Syndrome Day. World Water Day is on the 22nd. And March 24th is World Tuberculosis Day. While March 25th is International Day of Remembrance of the Victims